Hello and welcome to another episode of the Best You interview series. It's Gary here again. Thank you very, very much as always for taking the time to tune in today. And today I am joined by my friend, entrepreneur and my own personal tattoo artist. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. He can maybe correct me about this in a wee bit. 𝘀𝗵𝘂𝗂𝗍, who's here to discuss the power of perseverance in business. Steve is the owner of Immaculate Concept Tattoo here in Calgary and has been in business since 1996, so coming on for 30 years in operation. Since 2004, Steve has been the main organiser of the Calgary Tattoo and Arts Festival, which is an annual expo for international artists to show their talents, their wares, share ideas and network with fellow artists. And there's also a version that runs in Edmonton in Alberta too. Steve is also the creator of Tattoo Day, an app dedicated to providing artists across the globe the opportunity to connect and be part of a thriving artistic community. Recently, Steve has branched out into creation of online health courses for artists to ensure that health practices are of the highest possible standards. And as I mentioned, now Steve and I have been in a tattoo relationship now. It has to be 10, 15 years, something along those lines, certainly over 10 years. And I finally, when I got in touch or in tow with Steve, I finally found my guy after years and years of being a nomad and trying out different artists. And Steve knows this all too well, of course, because then he was the guy that had to cover up most of the previous work that was done on that. So I apologise again for all of that stuff, Steve, but we got beyond that. Steve, thanks a million for agreeing to come on the show today.
Yeah, no problem, of course.
Good man, good man. So I gave a wee bit of an overview of your journey. And one of the great things about our relationship and relationships with tattoo artists in general is that you get a lot of time to sit with each other. So over the years, the reason I mentioned the times that we've been together is that we've had hundreds and hundreds of hours of sitting together. And I've been with some artists who are just sitting in absolute silence. And there's no interaction, there's no real camaraderie, there's no real relationship being built there. And, fortunately, you and I struck up a rapport early and we have a good conversation about basically anything and everything that's going on at the time. And I think that's a difference maker in terms of, building a genuine reputation and building a rapport with people that they would say, not only is it an experience to get the art, but it's also an experience in getting to have intellectual conversations with people. So let's start with your journey thus far that's taken you to being what I consider to be a key figure in the North American artist scene. Talk us through, I assume you did an apprenticeship way back in the day, and how did that manifest itself into...
No apprenticeship, just learned by myself.
Really?
Back when I was wanting to get into tattooing, there were two shops in town. One was Smiling Buddha, and one was another one that obviously wasn't as good as Smiling Buddha. Yeah. And back then it was secretive. I was getting tattooed at Smiling Buddha a lot, and I'm like, how do I get into this? I paint, I do lots of artwork. This seems like this would be a really fun job. And it was like, no, it's only for a select, it was really secretive back then. Yeah. So it was like, Paul did give me a catalog for my first set of equipment. So, maybe not as taking me on, here's a, so I did get that. Yeah, which was amazing back then. It's from a company in England. Wasn't the best company, but it was like a mid-range company. So that was my journey. I used to work in a hospital sterilizing, so I was confident kind of starting the wrong way, doing a few tattoos at home, that kind of thing, which is frowned upon now because there's so many shops. You'd get an apprenticeship anywhere. Yeah. Like if you can draw, you can get an apprenticeship. It's not that hard. Yeah. But back then yes, it's the wrong way to do it, but there really wasn't much choice back then. Yeah. So it was the only way I could do it. Yeah. And talking to a few artists, going to tattoo shows, like I was trying to get myself in the industry a lot. Yeah. And I actually worked at a piercing shop for Paul's wife at the time, and did body piercing for about a year and a half and met a lot more people that way. And then finally got a job at a tattoo shop where I honed my skills for 3 months and then came back to Calgary and we opened up in 1996, and probably a little too early, but I'm having some old tattoos come in lately, like 25 years old, and they're not bad. Yeah. They're not the best, but they're like So maybe I started at the right time.
Yeah. Yeah, you started at the time you were supposed to start at.
Yeah.
I firmly believe that. So in terms of your artistic journey then, you know, obviously being interested in getting tattoos, doing some piercing work, you mentioned painting there as well. Where did that manifest itself from?
For my love for Judas Priest. I used to paint my bedroom walls from floor to ceiling with album covers, and they were done. I had pictures, I lost them, I'm crushed because I have no evidence of this now, but they were perfect. I'd spend, you know, I was kind of we were poor kids, so, you know, didn't get to go out too much, so I would just sit in my room and paint, you know, get some spare money, buy a couple different colors, and I'd paint these album covers on the wall. And yeah, when I moved out, my parents just, I think, painted over it and boarded it up, and that was it. It was done. So, you know, used to do a lot of things like that when I was younger. So no real painting. It's just stuff that's not around anymore. You know, I used to draw a little bit back then too.
Yeah. So no formal training, just a love for creation.
Yeah, no formal training at all. I've taken a few seminars in painting. I'm okay. It's not really my focus at all. Yeah. There's a new artist I've just found in Italy that does a seminar, very expensive seminar over a week. I'd love to take that just to, you know, when my life settles down a bit for business, then I'll get into painting a little more.
It's interesting you say when your life settles down a wee bit. Prior to us recording, we were just talking about how busy you are for right now, and that's genuinely been the theme in the time that I've known you, is that there's always something going on. So I don't know if it's ever going to actually settle down. So in terms of, let's go back to the beginning, because I think this is really fundamentally important for the story in and of itself. Like, what would you say were the main challenges? You've got limited amount of experience, but a lot of desire to be able to do this, you know, to get into the industry. You opened the shop. What were the main challenges setting up a new entrepreneurial endeavor for you back in the day?
Someone told me the main problem you're going to have is staff, and they were right. Finding the right staff that will stay. You know, you put so much time and effort into your staff, promoting them, helping them, and then artists are very transient. They'll just, you know, leave on a whim, you know, or other shops will start emailing your artists because you're doing such a good job promoting them and making them a better artist. Other shops are noticing, and they're like, hey, why don't you come over here and work? And then they just get up and leave. And we've had that happen. I mean, so many times. It's just, that's frustrating. That's one of the biggest challenges for sure.
Yeah. And it's one of these things, you know, it's like the kind of famous self-development adage, you know, what if we train them and they leave, and then the other person says, well, what if we don't train them and they stay? You know, you end up in this vicious cycle. So to a point, it's a genuine compliment to the work you're doing, but from a business, a true business,
it's not, tattoo shops are not a true business at all. They make no money. Like, it's one of the dumbest business ideas ever. It's to keep a good artist. It used to be commission years ago. To keep a good artist, you'd be looking at paying them 70%.
Right.
So out of every 100, they would get 70. I get 30. I've got rent, electric, medical, all that kind of stuff. So it's like there's not enough left over. Do you know what I mean? And then the industry has changed a lot lately. So it's now rent based. So they just rent a chair, which gives you even less. So but you just love having a tattoo shop and the artwork and all that stuff, right? So you just do it to the detriment of your own bank account. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love working so much. I don't pay attention to my books as much as I should. So you fall behind on that. That's the biggest stress in life right now.
So, I mean, over almost 3 decades, as I briefly mentioned earlier, you've seen a lot of evolution in the business, just exactly in terms of the structure of payment of artists and probably through recruitment. You know, you started, there was 2 shops in Calgary. I don't even know if we could count how many shops there are just in Calgary alone.
200 to 300.
Yeah.
Probably.
And just in Calgary alone. So that's the epitome of perseverance, because any organization, any business that can survive for 30 years and still be producing great content, you know, great artwork, and still thriving in the community. And obviously you've diversified your portfolio a wee bit, which we'll talk about in a wee bit here, you know, but where would you say the perseverance, was it almost instant where you started to feel some of the pain and you're kind of like, oh, I don't know if this is for me, or how I actually manifest and manage that going forward? Because I imagine there would be tons of experiences where you've literally had no experience of dealing with that before.
It's more stubbornness than persevere. You know what I mean? Just what else would I do? You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't know what to do out there. So we started the tattoo show in 2004. That has taken, I think I worked on it. I had an old partner that was more just a partner. I did all the work. So it's like I've been, for the first 12 years or so, I did like all the bills, all the advertising, all the, like everything. And that, it wasn't a moneymaker at all. So the shop would subsidize the tattoo show for quite a while. So both businesses aren't making any money, which is kind of stupid. But and then later on, the tattoo show is doing really good, but the shop is not doing well. So then the tattoo show subsidized the shop for a bit. So we're at the point right now where, I'm gonna not cash in, but like take advantage of all the connections I have, all the things I've learned, and then we're doing this tattoo app, and I know the industry enough that I can get out there and produce an amazing product that these artists need. Like, we're not the best at marketing at all. You know, we try Instagram. Instagram doesn't work for anyone anymore. I phoned up one of these kind of growth companies that help you, promote on Instagram. It's $5,000 US for 3 months. I'm like, to make Instagram work a little bit better, that's dumb. So why not just create your own app? So I had this idea back in 2017 because I saw the industry going downhill, like it was getting less and less busy. For the first 20 odd years, I worked 6-7 days a week. I'd be booked every day. I'd never had a 0 day ever. Then in 2017, you started seeing, oh, this Tuesday's not booked. What's going on? So it's that kind of thing where I saw that happening. So what I did was I tried to create the app. I went through a company. It had too many glitches. I couldn't release it. It wasn't good enough. It wasn't actually working on some phones at all. So I didn't want to embarrass myself by putting it out there. And then COVID came along, and obviously, you know what happened there. A year or so later, tried to get it going again. They're like, no, the code is too old, so we have to redo it. And I'm like, well, I'm not redoing it with you because it didn't work. So I just sat on it for 3 years. I've been broke. I can't afford it. So I found someone that is producing that app for me. We found a developer and someone that is financing it, and they're putting the app. I just want the app out. Do you know what I mean? I don't really care about, owning 100% of it and making sure I just want a really good product. I care more about the industry and having a good product than anything else. So what we've seen so far is pretty nice. It's working really well. The developer is really particular. It should be out beginning of October, which is really close to our October show. So we will be promoting it there. But then it'll work for our next show, which is in February. Do 2 Calgary shows now. So
and it's, I mean, you mentioned earlier there, it was mostly stubbornness, I yes and no for me, and knowing some of the journey that you went on through the conversations we've had, because if you think about how many organizations out there or how many entrepreneurs out there would stick with a product that's a loss leader for the longest time, just because it's the right thing to do, just because there's nothing like it in the industry, because you want to do it better than other people. Because this is not just you walk into the hall and there's 5 or 6 rows of artists just buzzing away tattooing people. I mean, this is like an event, a literal event over a number of days that gives you that opportunity to just immerse yourself in creativity for a bunch of days, and the energy in the room, the times that I go, it's just absolutely incredible.
It was good. Like, it had a different energy when it was smaller. There was like more close energy, but you're almost breaking even, or you're just, it's just not going to work for you. So that's why it's so big now. But now it's, I mean, we spend, a fair bit. Like our stage production, is second to none in the country, in North America. I see a lot of videos of shows. The stage has a banner behind it, and really no entertainment, whereas we have, full LED screens, lights, sound, entertainment, contests. Like we really go all out because we want the artists to, you have to please everyone, right? You want the artists to be happy and booked, and you want the clients to get value for their money when they're coming in.
Yeah.
If they're paying $35 to come in the door, they're going to go, yeah, that was worth it. People used to stay on average 3 to 4 hours at the show. And now we're hearing that people are staying all day and if not coming back for another day, like a full 12 hours, because there's so many artists and so many things to see.
Yeah. And that's just such a great epitome of observance and perseverance for me, in saying this is the right thing to do. We are incrementally getting better. I am incrementally getting better each and every week, because I think you and I were together when you were kind of moving away from that moment that you told me where you were doing everything and then you were getting just a wee bit of support and then a wee bit of help, and then you were suddenly getting literally time to breathe at the shows, because sometimes I'd come to the show and I wouldn't see you, and other times I'd come to the show and we would actually get a chance to sit down and have a quick beer and such, and that was just such a difference. So any aspiring entrepreneur out there, if you don't get the results in year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, what did you mention, like 12 years or so before it started to become this thing? That's the foundation of perseverance for me.
Because it's a great event, like it's a success. No one knows, like anyone coming to the event, it's like, this is awesome. Mm-hmm. They don't know what's behind it. I actually was cleaning out my house the other day. I found my taxes from my first 6 shows. I'm like, whoa. Yeah, okay, no wonder I have no money. Yeah, it was pretty dismal. And then things hit you, like COVID hit us. We bounced back from that. I'm surprised. We didn't lose a Calgary show. We went from 450 artists down to 98. Yeah. During the COVID year, everyone had their own booths 6 feet apart. We actually didn't have one case of COVID come through our show or come out of our show because they were checking at the testing centers. Yeah. They're asking a lot of people, did you go to anything at the BMO? We're the only thing that was happening. Yeah. And the health board was like, what do you mean you're doing a show? I'm like, the rules it's fine right now. Like we can do it right. We can do it right. And so. Yeah, having COVID hit, that was pretty bad. And then now we were up to 700 artists last year because the industry is quite a bit slow right now. There's so many artists. Right. We're cutting it this year by about 100 artists. We have the same amount of space, so the same amount of cost, but we're going to take it on our end because we can't suck that much business out of the city. Yeah. The show is supposed to promote artists and help the industry in Calgary. Yeah. So we are cutting back just on a few artists just so that everyone is busy because you have to keep the tattoo artists happy. Yeah. I actually walk around. I ran out of tickets the other day, but I hand out free tickets around town. If I see a tattooed person, I just give them tickets because that gets lots more people through the door. Yeah. And that keeps the artist busy, because they might get tattooed. So a lot of people are just money oriented, we got to sell as many tickets at the door as possible. Well, I think last year we gave out 12,000 free tickets. Wow. Just walking around, friends, staff, everyone. Yeah. And I think that only equates to maybe 3,000 people through the doors, but that makes your show busier. Yeah. Then the next year, hopefully out of that 3,000, 1,000 come back because they've enjoyed themselves so much. Yeah. So you can grow year over year by at least 1,000 people. Yeah. And it's that creativity and really saying, this is the right thing to do. This is what the industry needs. I know it because I've been in it for so long. And these are different ways to look at it. And when you said they're money oriented, that's certainly the sense that I've gotten from you over the years. It's never been about the money. If the money comes, it's definitely not about the money.
Yeah, but you're trying to create an experience. And do you know the thing I've been talking about recently, Steve, is like name one thing in your life, in the periphery of your life, that has incrementally gotten better over time, in terms of services, in terms of processes, in terms of systems. You mentioned Instagram a wee bit earlier there. There's not that many things that you could say, this is 10 times better than it was in the beginning. I don't mean we don't allow for evolution. You mentioned we opened the shop maybe a wee bit earlier than we should have, but it was the right time to do it at that particular time. The app will be the exact same when the app comes out. It's the first version of the app.
Oh yeah, I have the next 5 versions already planned out. Like it's like a Tony Robbins thing. constant, never-ending improvement. You
100%.
just a little bit, a little 1% a day is 365 over a year. If you're like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, oh no, it's always putting out the best product. Same with tattooing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you do great tattoos. The client loves it. People love it. Like a lot of people love it. And then you're like, you could do better.
Yeah.
Or you gotta be careful that you're not, bashing yourself too much.
100%.
Like where it's, detrimental to your growth. But you're always just a little bit like, I'm always looking at like trophies. So we started out with just a small thing like the trophies that we give the artists during the contest.
Yeah.
They used to be glass trophies from the trophy shop. Then they were plaques from the trophy shop. Then they were skateboards with plaques from the trophy. So they evolved, and now we found a guy in Edmonton that makes the most amazing trophies. They cost us a lot more, but they look. And that, to me, each artist wants one of those trophies. That's and it's hard. We only give out, I've seen some tattoo shows, they have 70 categories. It's almost like Oprah. Like everyone gets a trophy. Trophy for you. Like, how is that special? If you win a trophy at our show, you deserve it. They are hard to win.
Yeah.
So anyone that wins a trophy, they're a damn good artist. And that's something we're putting in the app, is sort of a tattoo of the month worldwide. If you can win tattoo of the month worldwide, let's say there's 5,000 artists on that trophy or on that app at the time, and you win tattoo of the month, that means you could, we're going to send them a certificate, a trophy, and then we're going to be doing cash prizes as well. Yeah. So they can put that up on their wall saying, I won against 4,000 other artists, and it will actually say that on the certificate. Yeah. Their client looks at that like, holy cow, you won again. So they have more confidence in their artists. Like, okay, this is why I'm here. This is why I made this decision, is because obviously you're one of the best. Yeah. And we have another rating system in the app as well, where, everyone has the likes on the post, and then we have a crown. So every client and every artist gets to crown one tattoo as their ultimate favorite for the month. Right. And then those crowns accumulate on the artist profile, which means instead of followers, which on Instagram, I can go buy 100,000 followers tomorrow. Yeah. And people think I'm famous. Yeah. I just can't do it. Yeah. But the crowns will be a legit way, and we'll be monitoring that to make sure someone's mom isn't, voting for them every month. Yeah. Delete their account. And we're going to warn artists, you can't mess around. Yeah. This has got to be a true assessment of where your skill level is at. So, and then hopefully they get better. If they're not winning, it's get better.
Exactly. I mean, and I didn't mean to talk over you there, but that's exactly what I was going to say. It's not just a playground for artists to be there to creep on other people and see and maybe steal some ideas and have some jokes or maybe disparage someone. It's about the genuine uplifting of the industry and saying, this is an exclusive community, be here, be rewarded, strive for greater, and move forward with a greater intention of growth.
You get a lot more people focused on trophies and focused on competitions now. You still get the partiers, that come, just want to have a good time, make some money, go out and have fun. But it's definitely a lot more people that are focused. We have people that come just for the sole purpose of doing a 3-day tattoo at the show and then putting it in for tattoo of the we don't do tattoo of the weekend anymore because we're trying to discourage 3-day tattoos. That's a lot for the client, for their health and safety. So we try to discourage it, but it does still happen. But there's people that come to the show just for that opportunity.
Yeah, for the gaming aspect of that as well. Yeah. So that's the evolution, because I don't know the industry as well as you do, of course, but I don't see people looking for opportunity to give back to the industry like you do, and some of the ideas that we were bounding around. One of the last times that we were together was like the health pack that you were planning to put together to say, you don't need anything else. Here is the pack that you need to do a safe and secure tattoo for this. We will source all the material for you. We'll get you the best of the best and things like that. I don't see other people looking around the corner in any industry, actually, not just the artistic industry, to say, what are people struggling with? What are they just not good at? What are they? How could we help them kind of move forward and give themselves that opportunity to be better? So that's a good segue into the health course that I mentioned during the introduction there. How did that all come about?
I've been involved with the health board a lot. They rewrote the tattoo regulations back in the early 90s. When I was a piercer, we helped with that. Went up to Edmonton, met with them, gave them, what's right, what's wrong, that sort of thing. And then they weren't revamped again until 4 or 5 years ago. Right. It came out around COVID was the new ones. I mean, that's 25 years, 30 years. It's been needed to be updated quite a bit. They took some things out that should have stayed in there, and they did revamp it a little, quite a bit. But so I've been involved with that part of the health board, and then it's just from working in a hospital. Yeah. So I knew how to sterilize properly. I came into the industry going, there's more you can do, just seeing a few things here and there. So through our show, we've tried to educate artists. Like, we use sterile water. I've been using it since 2007. It's just there are some infections you can get from using regular water or distilled water. Mm. Maybe 20% of shops, 15% of shops now use sterile water. So it is an improvement. Yeah. It is a cost as well. I think I've figured out I've spent $200,000 to $300,000 on sterile water over the years. Like, it's just, it's expensive, but it's client safety. If they're paying you a couple $100 for a tattoo, what's $2 worth of water? You know what I mean? When you break it down. Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of evolved from that. We have a supply company in Canada, Icon. So they've helped us since our first year. So they supply the tattoo supplies for the artist. And then we supplement them with sterile water, cups, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Mm-hmm. That came from me going to tattoo shows before I put on a show. And I was like I went to a show in Dallas. I had to spend $40 on cab fare to go get paper towel, because it was in the middle of an industrial area. So like, this is stupid. And you had nothing. But the only thing I couldn't pack was paper towel because it was too big. Right. So it's like, and then you go to shows in England, still you get a garbage bag and a sharps container. That's it. And a pat on the back. Good luck. Yeah. So it's like, you put it into the price of the booth. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's all included in that price, although ours is the same price as a show that doesn't supply it, but so they're just making more. Yeah. So you just put it in that price, you supply this, you're going to have a safe show. Who wants to have a problem show? Yeah. I mean, we have problems anyway here and there, not very often, but, so you just got to, mitigate those problems as much as possible. Yeah. And make it easier for the artist. We have an ink station. We came up with that. Yeah. Was it the first year or the second year? I'm not sure. So we get an ink company to send us inks, and we have a full selection of inks for the artist to use. So if you're traveling from England and you don't have to pack ink, that's amazing. You open up your bag, all your ink has exploded. It adds such weight to your bag. It is a problem. So having inks available at the show, we have several different brands now. That's one of the big things that artists are like, oh my God, I don't have to pack ink when I come to your show. Yeah. So it's just working for the artist for sure. Yeah.
And I love that sentiment of you said they're making it easy for the artists. The artists are artists, and they're not to admin or tidy up or set up or tear down or entertain, kind of sort of, they're there to show their wares as an artist, whether it's tattooing or piercing or whatever else it is they're actually getting involved in. And I imagine the more seasoned artists would start to appreciate the nuances that you have in your shows, versus other areas, where they're kind of like, I kind of like that part there, because, the ink stations, that they're immaculate, they're well kept. People then, what I've noticed is they'll kind of self-sustain it, where they're like, oh, we've run out of black over there, or we need a wee bit more light grey over there. So they're kind of self-policing it as well, because they're taking a wee bit more pride and ownership in that as well. So it becomes more of a community feel. to the whole thing as well. So it's, maybe some people don't care about all those things, and they're used to a certain type and style of treatment, or that they can just roll with the punches anyway. But if you can say, listen, I will give you absolutely everything that you need to be a success here. All you need to do is show up and do your very best. When you're here, that's massive, Steve. I can't imagine that many people are doing that out there.
No, because it all costs money. Like, that's why I partnered with the partner that we have for the show now. They run trade shows. They know costs and all that. So they've, tightened my leash a lot.
Yeah.
I used to, hey, let's do a dinner for the artist. There's $7,000. You're just like, it's just, not enough people show up to cover that $7,000 really.
Yeah.
You're like, you just want to put on the best possible. So I've definitely learned to not, go all out like I used to. It's just also comp booths, like your friend, like, I don't want to charge you. Yeah, I'll just write you down. And I did a floor plan of all the booths I comped one year. I'm like, yeah, I need to. And now some of my friends pay. I'm like, thank you for supporting, because, the bills are getting paid now. Rather than, but
it's a business at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So you've got the tattoo shop, you've got the tattoo show, you've got the health courses, you've got the app pending here as you're moving forward. Was there any point, like significant point in the past, where you thought, this is too much, this is not working, this is not for me, I don't know what I was thinking?
Every day.
Every day.
What the hell am I doing? Sometimes when you're setting up a show like this, when I was by myself, it took me a few years in the partnership to where I felt good. But yeah, I used to wake up in the morning, throw up. That was the start of the day. You know what I mean? Like I haven't done it for a while, but your eyes would open in the morning, and the first two words in your brain were like, oh, fuck. And that was it. Every morning you'd walk, oh, here we go. Like, it was just not good for my mental health. Definitely. I mean, luckily I don't have an addictive personality or don't have any crutches. It's my day 6 of no Monster energy drinks. So that's huge for me.
Nice.
I've been drinking those for 15 years, 3 a day, because you rely. But I've seen a lot of people stop doing successful tattoo shows because they're hooked on cocaine, because they need that. What do you get from it? I can't remember, but it's like they need that, like, because they just feel so depressed. Like, it is. I've tried medication to kind of lower my stress back then. It didn't seem to work very well, but I don't have that stress anymore. Like, I know we have a formula now. We know it's going to be a success. We know it's going to be fine. Yeah. So, I mean, our show is in a month and a half. Yeah. Like, back then I'd be freaking out. Now I'm like, cool.
The show was in a month and a half.
So that's nice to have that. But I do have to, I'll probably stop tattooing soon. I was going to go to England and promote the app and tattoo on the weekends. And I just realized I can't. Like, I just need to I need to put every ounce of energy into this app, and I need to go promote it. Yeah. So that's all I'm going to do is just, we have cities planned out because we're going to hook up with tattoo shows there and promote both sides. So we're doing certain cities like Manchester, Newcastle, Milton Keynes, and London. So that'll take us a year to get through all those shops. Yeah. So we'll do that kind of promotion. And then we have to promote at tattoo shows and things like, we'll probably do the comic show in Calgary next April. So that's just so much foot traffic that it would be silly of me to not promote the app to the general public there. So I think in April I have a show in Birmingham in England. Then I come to Canada. I have a show in Edmonton, which we produce, so I have to put on that show. Yeah. Then I come down here for the comic show. Then it's Toronto for the Toronto show. They got moved from June to May because of the World Cup. I'm like, perfect. Works for my schedule a lot better. Yeah. I have to go back to England for a Newcastle show. So 5 shows in 5 weekends. Yeah, there's no time for tattooing.
It's incredible. Do you know, so one thing, I go back to you saying stubborn earlier, and the word I'm using is persevering. But what you're talking about here now, Steve, is monumental sacrifices that you're willing to make that other people wouldn't be willing to make in order for you to get to where you want to get to. So giving up tattooing, like how do you feel about giving up
Oh,
tattooing?
it's horrible. I love it. I love tattooing. You know what I mean? I'm not going to give it up. It's just delayed for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll be tattooing here till October, and then I'll probably do a couple tattoos here and there because I want to hang out with my friends in England. I don't want to sit in a hotel room the whole time.
Yeah.
I do have some clients out there too.
Yeah.
But it's like I put stuff in storage. I got rid of my place here, gave him my notice the other day. Selling everything, sold my truck the other day. Like, so I have nothing to worry about. You know what I mean? I have a friend, one of the artists here, he's going to run the shop here. I'm of the mindset, it's horrible, but if the shop fails, it doesn't make money anyway. I need to look after me now. You know what I mean? I'm 58 with no savings, so
yeah,
that stubbornness has to come out so I can, benefit a little bit. So, but I know the app will do well. So if, a few people leave the shop, we'll be able to support it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then just go hard. I mean, it's England, I have to work hard, but then I get fish and chips and all that stuff.
So hopefully you're not replacing the monster drinks with fish and chips, because I don't think that's going to get you the health benefits you're looking for.
I have to make sure my hotel is far from a fish and chip shop. I'm going to try once a week, but I'm out there with my assistant who does we're going to do a lot of reels and stuff. And so we're actually going to start doing, we're out there every day.
Yeah.
So we're going to eat somewhere different every day, and we're going to do food reviews and stuff like that.
Nice.
So we're going to take advantage of it. And when we're going shop to shop, it's going to be like, here's our new app. And if they seem interested, it's like, oh, here's our tattoo show in Calgary and Edmonton. Yeah. Here's our health course. Here, so we're going to, it's going to be such a benefit to us. We're not just going app. Yeah. We're going to promote our other products as well. Yeah. So some shops may pick up none, some may pick up one, some may use all 3 or 4. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's actually going to be beneficial for us to get out there, and we're going to make the most of it. Shooting those videos, and then I love shows. Rock concerts are how I lower my stress. Yeah. And I already have tickets for a few shows already. So we're planning on, are we going to hit Newcastle this weekend or Manchester? It's like, well, this band is playing in Newcastle, so it's Newcastle this week. So don't feel sorry for me. It's hard work.
Oh, I wasn't feeling sorry for you. So interestingly enough, the opportunity, I was actually talking to a friend of mine about this recently, of essentially doing the door-to-door sales again, like really the benefits of that, because not everyone's willing to do that, especially after such a tenured career that you've had, and that ability to actually learn at the same time. So it's not all about a transaction of please subscribe to this one thing or make a commitment to follow through on this. It's your opportunity to look people in the eyes and say, really, there's no interest here in terms of healthy tattooing practices, so then you start to see themes, you start to see patterns, you start to kind of get an idea of what might or might not work at various circumstances as well. So there's just so much data that you can collect from that.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have a spreadsheet of every shop, every address, whether they're good or not. We're only going into high-end shops. It's going to be very beneficial. And then we did a mail out for our health course. Let's see if a health course works, a live one. So I booked a hotel room in Brighton. We sent out 500 postcards to Brighton and London. Not one hit. So obviously that doesn't work. This is why we're doing the door-to-door. Hope it works. I think it will, because then you get like you said, you get a read on the person. We're going to research each shop. We're going to know which artists do what. So when we go in, when we get back to the hotel every night, we'll do research for the next day. John does realism. Fucking Becca does this. That way, when you go in, you're like, oh, hey, I've been looking at your thing. I like John's stuff. So you can give definitely a more personal approach. And then, we give them our cell number, and if they want to hook up a meeting to learn more about the app, or they can just try it themselves, they can go from there. So we're really trying to do a personal and make it beneficial for them. You can win a trophy on this app. You can win cash prizes, because once it starts, it is a paid app, so it's paid for by the artist each month, and then clients get it for free because clients are the ones looking for work to tattoo them. And then we'll give back, like if it's profiting, then we start doing cash prizes, and that will keep the really good artists on the app because, hey, who doesn't mind a little bit extra money?
Yeah, exactly.
Do your best tattoo possible.
Yeah.
$5,000, you get paid $3,000 for the tattoo and get an extra, so it'll be I'm really hoping it. I've seen a lot of products, and it's just like, it's not exciting enough. It's one idea. And it's like, you don't build an app for one idea.
Yeah.
Whereas our app when our first version was planned, it has 7 ideas.
Yeah.
We've dropped a couple. We might add a couple. So this way, when the more versions that come out, we'll add another idea. Yeah. And that way it makes it more entertaining for both clients and artists to come back all the time. Yeah. You don't want to know where they're looking and go, that's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
You want people to come, but you want lots of engagement. And we're not pulling back on posts. If you as a client open the app in Calgary, you see every artist in Calgary, whether you follow them or not. Yeah. That way everyone gets equal billing. We will, on the second version, have a following. So following button. So you can look at just people you're following. Yeah. Other than that, you see everyone. And that way it's a good, like I'll put an ad on Instagram. You put $200 on it. You don't get an appointment from it.
Yeah.
Like it's broken. It's just dog shit, for a better word. You know what I mean? So it's because they have stockholders. They need to make more and more money every time. Yeah. I remember Facebook used to be that you paid to get people on your page. So we'd pay thousands in advertising. Then we got our shop page up to 12,000 followers. And then they started pulling back on your viewership. So you'd post something, only 1,000 would see it. Or you can advertise to reach the people that are already following your page. But even if you put $1,000 on it, you only reach 3,000 of your 12. It's like, you guys suck.
Come on. Yeah. And it's really paying attention to that evolution and giving yourself the best opportunity to react as quickly as you possibly can in the moment to say, right, this no longer serves us. This is garbage. It kind of never worked actually in the first place. And then take it from there. Again, you pay a different type and style of attention, Steve, that other people probably don't.
I wish it had worked. And we had it out in 2018. I wish it had worked. It didn't. And then COVID, I just sat. So I was going to talk to my business partner, and I was stressing talking to them. And then they came up to me at the show, and they're like, "Whatever happened to your app?" I'm like, "Oh, funny you should say."
Yeah.
So here we are. So
Yeah.
I guess it happens when it's supposed to happen.
Exactly. Yep, exactly. So this is called The Best You, a podcast all about self-development, self-education. And what I'd like to do before I let you go today, Steve, is ask you, you've already mentioned the monster drinks and the rock concerts, but what's one regular practice that you employ to give Steve the best opportunity to be the best version of himself?
Oh, I'm not sure. Just get up and do it. I used to be a morning person, but diabetic now from tattooing, sitting too long all day long. So you don't have the energy that you used to have. So I set my alarm. My alarm's set for 7, just getting up and doing it. Got up at 4:30 today. So I felt good about that. It's just getting up and getting into that mindset of getting your stuff done. I think. I mean, I was reading a book on, get it up early, get your stuff done. You have 4 hours by yourself. And then I took an Uber home the other day, and the guy's like, "Yeah, I started at 4:30 today because no one else wants to, and I get all the rides for like 2 hours." I'm like, all right. So that's why I got up today. Okay, I was down here by 5:15 or whatever, and I got stuff done for the tattoo show that I was behind on. I worked on something on 𝘂𝗵cie. It was glitchy, so I fixed that online. I started mapping out Camden and a couple of the boroughs, and I got so much done. And it's just like, man. And then you have your day, right, where people are always interrupting you. And I think that's it. Whenever I see things in life, I'm like, there's a reason there's a saying for this. Like early bird gets the worm. There's a reason that saying came about. And you see, someone else doing something, there's a saying for they don't appreciate that usually, but and I brought a book into work for artists to read. And it was the one I was reading about getting up early.
Yeah.
And the one artist flipped through it for a minute. Oh, so just be good. Is that all? I get it. Okay. And then they went and scrolled on TikTok. I'm like, what's that saying? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drown. I mean, there's a saying forever. Maybe I should buy a book of sayings and just read them all and go,
yeah.
That's why it's like doing the same thing over and over and over and getting the same result. That's why you have to pivot. If it's not work, like, so we did the mail out, it didn't work. Try something like, you can't just keep doing the same thing. I mean, I own a tattoo shop. It doesn't make money. It never makes, it's just like time to focus my energy elsewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I may lose the shop, but it may be the best thing that ever happened to me.
You never know.
Who knows?
And being open to that in the future. Where can people find out more about you and the products and services that we've talked about today, Steve?
If you go on Alberta Tattoo Shows on Instagram, we'll be announcing the app and all that. Hopefully it'll be out in October. We might not get to utilize it because it does combine with tattoo shows. So it has tattoo show listings, so you can see the artists that are there, what appointments they have open, so it helps them get booked up. We might not get to utilize it for Calgary, but hopefully you'll hear about it. You'll see it at the tattoo show, you'll see it at the comic show, and then maybe during a Stampede as well. We'll be pushing it hard. And then our health course is just for artists, so they know about it. We keep sending them emails and stuff. So. And then our tattoo show is always the weekend after Thanksgiving. We're at the BMO Center. We have about 200,000 square feet, 600 to 700 artists, 50 vendors, lots of shopping. So don't bring your wife because she'll spend all your money.
That's the point. That's the point. It's always a great time at the show. If you've never gone down, even if you are not in the market for a tattoo at all, there's great people going on. Oh yeah, the totally is. Yeah, just sitting at that bar and watching the people coming and going and coming by. It's fabulous.
Yeah, it's fun.
I love it. Steve, my friend, I have absolutely loved chatting to you. What I'd love to do is maybe in the springtime next year, once you've done all your globe trotting, is come back on and tell us how it
all works. Gary, what do I do? No, hopefully I'll have a great update for you.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Thanks again for coming on the show, Steve. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks for having me.